What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, I'm gonna be doing the versus series again here with who is better for the Estarossa team. But in today's video, we're actually gonna be talking about Ominous Nebula Zeldris versus Festival Zeldris. Who is better for the team? Alright, so I wanted to make this video, guys, because with the recent release of Ominous Nebula Zeldris, both Fest Zeldris and Ominous Nebula Zeldris are both very good units, but which one would be the better option basically for the Estarossa team? Because I know a lot of people have been kind of, either undervaluing Ominous Nebula or overrating Festival Zeldris, or vice versa. Basically, like, there's a lot of just different opinions revolving around these units, and I wanted to kind of talk about it and let you guys know my opinion on both characters, and then we'll actually test them out in PvP as well to kind of let you guys know how viable they are. Alright, so first character we have right here is going to be Ominous Nebula Zeldris. He's the brand new Zeldris, guys, the one that just released. Let's go over his skills, let's go over his kit, and then we'll move on to the Festival Zeldris, and we'll also, before we move on, we'll talk about Ominous Nebula's pros and then cons as well. So Ominous Nebula Zeldris is a speed attribute character. He is part of the Demon Clan. Alright, his CC right here is not reflective of what he would actually be, because I do not have outfits. So yeah, free to play Zeldris at the moment, but it's fine. In terms of his skills, he has Pulverize Single Target. If you guys don't know what Pulverize Single Target does, inflicts damage equal to 450% of attack on one enemy. If the hero's ultimate move gauge has 4 orbs or more, removes 1 orb from the enemy's ultimate move gauge, and Pulverize does 20% additional damage for each orb in the hero's ultimate move gauge. Same card as Festival Gother, same card as Festival Diane. Both those characters have this skill, and it's a really strong skill, having the permanent gauge reduction 4 gauge or higher, and then also dealing more damage for the amount of gauge you have in your ultimate move gauge. For his second skill here, it's going to be Infect AoE. Guys, you know this skill from Rimuru, man. It's super good. Applying the Infect, AoE on even rank 1 makes this card very viable for the Estarossa team. For his ultimate here, he's got weak point ultimate, so weak point damage equal to 210% of attack on all enemies, and then weak point is times 3. I think it caps out at 315% if I'm not mistaken. I'll put a screenshot from GC database if I got it wrong, whatever. But yeah, Ominous Nebula Zeldris, that's his card kit. In terms of his passive here, Tornado of Darkness. In PvP, for every applicable ally on the battlefield, increases those allies' attack related stats by 4% and decreases all enemies attacked by 6%, and the applicable allies are demons or commandment characters. So that's the kit of Ominous Nebula Zeldris, guys. He's a pretty good unit. And the thing is with him is that a lot of people have been, saying that Ominous Nebula is not really a good character, and in play when you actually use him, he's not the greatest character, but I don't know if people get his role correct. You know what I mean? This Ominous Nebula Zeldris is a support Zeldris. He's just like the Festival Zeldris in that right where he's meant to be a supportive type character. The pros that Ominous Nebula has is that he's going to increase your demon team attack related, right? He's going to increase the attack related stats of the team, and there's no other character that can buff attack related stats for demon team. Another pro I would say as well is that he is the only demon with Infect AoE, and Infect is such a strong skill in PvP that it has to be given, praise for that at the very least. Other than that, I'd probably say it's like all of Zeldris' pros here. Other than that, there's nothing too crazy with his kit. Pulverize is a nice skill though too, but it's not anything too crazy. And then weak point is Kane's ultimate, to give you guys an idea. So yeah, let's move on and let's talk about Festival Zeldris. Now, Festival Zeldris, the Executioner Zeldris here, for his kit, let's actually talk about it, okay? First skill here, Cleave Single Target. So Cleave is going to be inflict damage, cleave damage, which does not activate critical damage equal to 500% of attack on one enemy. Cleave additional damage is equal to 75% of the crit damage, of 100%. So basically 75% of 100% of your crit damage will be converted into extra damage on the Cleave skill, which in practice does a lot of damage, by the way. Very good skill. Second skill here from Fest Zeldris is going to be Demonic Zone here, which applies an effect which depletes ultimate move gauge by 2 orbs at the end of the enemy's turn, and all enemies for 2 turns, then restricts the use of ultimate moves at rank 3. Rank 1 is just gauge reduction, AoE, dissolve, right? And then rank 2 it seals and does 2 gauge reduction, which is pretty nice. So that is the main 2 cards. And then for the ultimate here, DS Array, it decreases all enemies HP related stats by 25% at 6 out of 6 for 3 turns and inflicts damage equal to 945% of attack on 1 enemy. Festival Zeldris, obviously, because he's a festival, he has a unique ultimate, and it is in a sense it can be better than you know, Ominous Nebula, but you know, his ultimate, you gotta remember guys, is a single target, so that's something to take into account. Festival Zeldris does have a commandment. The reason Ominous Nebula doesn't is because in the show, by that point in the show, he did lose his commandment. Executioner Zeldris here still has his commandment of piety. So for this commandment here, if a critical strike occurs from a single from a skill use, decreases crit chance and crit damage on the target by 10%. So this was mainly meant to, you know, kind of cuck enemy teams that, you know, had a lot of crit rate and did a lot of you know, crits, because Zeldris has cleave here and he cannot crit on the cleave, guys. So that's really good for him, because it makes it so that, you know, he's never gonna proc the you know, his commandment here. His passive here, which is really strong by the way, increases the ally's basic stats by 3% for every debuff applied on all enemies, limit to 8 times, which means you can max out at a max of 24% basic stats, which is very strong for only applying 8 debuffs by the way total. And then another thing we do have to mention is Zeldris' Holy Relic. Festival Zeldris did get a Holy Relic as well, which does count as another backline support type passive, where he decreases debuffed enemies attack related stats by 10% when using skill. So that is the overall kit of Festival Zeldris. For the pros of Festival Zeldris, I would say that the basic stat increase is really big, especially when you're using like a demon team or like a Lilia team. Like, you can really feel the basic stats when using Zeldris in the backline. Having 24% basic stats for literally just applying, like, you know, if you do at the, like, let's say you do Sigurd AoE and he has Extort, and you also have Sario Link, that's automatically 6 debuffs on the enemy, which means you get 18% basic stats just like that. So, you know, it's easy to apply the debuffs and get the basic stat increase, which I think is a, you know, a big plus for Zeldris right here. You know, which, you know, in a sense it could be a con, because you need to apply the debuffs to get the basic stats, whereas, you know, Ominous Nebula just gives you the basic stat or the attack related and the enemy attack lower whenever you just use demons. But, you know, that's you know, the passive there that I really like. I do like his Holy Relic as well, lowering enemies attack related when they're debuffed, because it also coincides with his passive being that you want enemies to be debuffed as well, so you're getting the basic stat increase. So, you know, cons for you know, Zeldris, his ultimate is single target. I think AoE would have been a lot better. You know, his dissolve skill is nice, but, you know, I'd rather have it be an attacking skill. If this was the same skill as like Gother dissolve, I think it would be a little bit better. But yeah, other than that, I think, you know, Festival Zeldris is still a really strong character, and definitely is a very good slot for the team. So now let's kind of talk about who do I think is better, Festival Zeldris or Ominous Nebula Zeldris. I think at this very moment, Festival Zeldris is the better unit, and the reason for that is because Festival Zeldris just has so much going for him. He has a Holy Relic right now, he has CC, he has the, you know, basic stats, he has basically everything you would want from a backline character that he can provide, right? Both his Holy Relic and his passive are backline support, where you can run him in the back. The one con that I actually just thought of actually for Fest Zeldris is that you would not want to run him on the front. Running Fest Zeldris on the front is actually a detriment, because you would rather not have him in the front, and you would rather have a different character, especially for Estarossa team. So there's that, I guess, that Ominous Nebula has. The difference that Ominous Nebula has against Fest Zeldris is that he only really has one passive here, compared to Zeldris having a Holy Relic, you know, the passive, and then also I guess the commitment to kind of, you know, I don't know if it really helps the team though. It's more so of just like a detriment to both teams. But Ominous Nebula here, the thing is with him is that he doesn't rely on a restriction. The only restriction is that it has to be in PvP and that he's on a demon team, right? Other than that, it's not really too much of a restriction, and I do think that over time, Ominous Nebula will get better than Festival Zeldris. Alright, so now that we've kind of talked about that, guys, let's hop into PvP match, and we'll do one match with both units. The thing is with Fest Zeldris, though, is that I don't want to run him in the front. I'm actually going to run him in the back. Okay, we're going to run this team right here and run him in the back. I am farming coin food, so we're not going to put CC food on. We're just going to run this setup. But yeah, the reason we're running Fest Zeldris in the backline is because he is just a better backline support. Okay, it just, you know, no matter what, he's a better backline support than Ominous Nebula. For Ominous Nebula, I'm actually going to move him onto the field when we do his showcase. Okay, but for this now, let's just do Festival Zeldris, and we'll do it like this. And for just to prove the point more, we'll put Assault with Meliodas as well, because he's gonna proc Zeldris' passive a lot easier than, say, my Sigurd doing his skills, right? So we're actually just gonna put Assault mode on the team, and we're gonna run this team right here. So let's hop in. Alright, so we're hopping into the match here. We got an opposing Estarossa team. We do LTC, which is pretty good. So now let's actually start applying the darkness here as usual, guys. When you're running the Estarossa team, gotta just go crazy. We actually did top deck another AoE as well, which is very good. This is a bot, but it'll be a good showing just to show you guys what I mean in terms of the basic stat increase here. Obviously, Estarossa is helping by giving us basic stats per darkness as well, but you guys will see that the basic stats is pretty big from having just Zeldris backline as well. You know what I mean? So let's actually see them attack into us, because they need to attack into us so we can get the defense related downs applied from Assault Melee's passive to start, you know, building up that Zeldris passive. So they are going to attack into the Sigurd right there. It's not going to do too much damage as well, so we're actually going to be able to tank that fairly well. And yeah, this is going to make it so that we have, at the very least, enough for Zeldris' passive there instantly. Right, so let's check the basic stats on the whole team right now that we got going. So Estarossa, he's going to be at 461k max HP, right? That's a good way to kind of check, just seeing the max HP, right? So this is my Sigurd, 526. Look at the stats, bro. A lot of it is from Estarossa, but you guys got to remember that some of it as well is just from having the what's it called, man? The Zeldris backline support, which is just really strong. So, you know, you got to take that into account, man. Yeah, so there we go. We do that. And then we do Estarossa. And he's going to do this single target there and kill Chandler, you know, for doing 944k single target. But yeah, man, that's just to give you guys an idea, like, what Zeldris provides from the backline, you know what I mean? He's able to lower the enemy's attack related. He's able to give you the basic stats so you tank better. And even deal more damage as well. Like, it's just a solid unit for the team, man, in my opinion. And I do think that, you know, over time, you know, he's going to be a long-lasting unit. And he's not limited to demons as well, guys. You can use him on basically any team you want. Right, which is another thing to kind of, you know, give as a plus to Fest Zeldris, is that he's more universal than, you know, Ominous Nebula, right? That's definitely something to take into account for sure. Okay, so Estarossa is not, you know, affected here as well yet, but Assault Melee can probably kill the opposing Assault Melee, so we'll do that. And then we do the single target. You guys can see that also it shows that Holy Relic applies whenever you attack into it. You see a Holy Relic active, it's showing you that your attack is getting lowered by 10% attack related. But yeah, right here we basically win as long as my melee doesn't get encroached. So he goes for the single target onto the Estarossa there. And then he's gonna go for the single target into Sigurd there. But yeah, this is just a bot, so it's not really, you know, anything too crazy, but it does give you guys a good showing, right? So we'll do this, and then we'll do the single target there, and we'll do the single target as well. And Assault Melee should kill from this range, because he's going to be able to do a lot of damage, especially having the type advantage against the Estarossa there, as you guys can see. So yeah, let's hop in. This time I'm going to put Ominous Nebula on the team. I'm going to swap Assault Melee for Trader Melee as well, and then we're going to put... I think we can put, you know, we could just put like a Ragnarok Bond backline, you know what I mean? So we can get the backline support for him. So let's hop in. I'll change my team real quick, and then I'll show you guys the team we're going to be running. Alright guys, so this is the team we're going to be using here for Ominous Nebula Zeldris. You guys can see here that the CC has taken a big hit here, man. Just to give you guys an idea of how much CC my Ominous Nebula has on HP defense, running the exact same gear set I was running on my Festival Zeldris here, but you guys can see is that only 61k CC compared to the 68k CC that my Festival Zeldris had. The difference is that I'm missing a Holy Relic, I'm missing 5 dupes, and I do not have outfits for Ominous Nebula Zeldris. I'm missing the paid ones at the moment. So yeah, just to give you guys, like, just to tell you guys right here is that this is like basically a free-to-play Zeldris compared to a maxed out Festival Zeldris. So, you know, my opinion, because, you know, I've been using, what's it called, Festival Zeldris for the longest time now, that I'm so used to just having big CC like that, and then switching over to Ominous Nebula it does feel like a little bit of a detriment. But remember guys, you know, when a unit is not really built to their max, obviously you're going to notice that they're going to be a little bit, you know, worse in terms of their performance, but, you know, we'll get the general gist of how strong he can be for the team though. So we're going to hop in. This is going to be the team we're using, and we'll see how well this team is able to perform. Alright guys, so we're hopping into the match here. We got an opposing Estarossa team. Let's see, we do on CC, which is good, which means we basically win the match automatically, and we actually did top deck another melee AoE, so it's going to be very good. This is a bot. But it's just, you know, just to show you guys what the whole team's about, man, right? So Zeldris is going to do his infect right there to make sure that they can't lifesteal, right? That's going to be a very good thing. And you guys can see how much damage Meliodas does here. It's really, really strong. You guys can see that, right? 273k on HP defense. That is the value that Ominous Nebula provides for the team, is that attack-related damage increase, man. You know, compared to the basic stats that Festival Zeldris is applying, Ominous Nebula is giving you attack-related stats, which is super big for the team, man. You know what I mean? It's super big. And then, you know, already gaining the basic stats from Estarossa is nice, but having the basic stats alongside the attack-related feels very, very good on the team, in my opinion, right? So now that they're all super low, you kind of just finish them off from this range, right? You kind of do. You know, that's gonna apply encroach on the whole team there, and then what we can do is we could just start going crazy with the single targets. Actually, what I'm gonna do actually is gonna do this, and then melee single target into the assault melee there, right? But you can see that, like, Ominous Nebula, for his AoE, it's not hitting too crazy. But, you know, the whole point of him is supposed to be a support unit. A lot of people wanted Ominous Nebula to be a DPS, but that's just not what he is, man. He's a support type character on the team. He's gonna be applying the infect. He's gonna have the pulverize for the gauge reduction. He's gonna have the attack related increase for the team. That's what his purpose is for the team, right? So you can run him in the back as well, if you guys didn't know. Ominous Nebula does have backline support just like Festival Zeldris, but the difference is that Ominous Nebula can be run on the main field and will still provide something for the team, which I think is, you know, can be a good, you know, pro for Ominous Nebula being on the Estarossa team. So yeah, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, though. Do you guys think that Ominous Nebula Zeldris is better than Festival Zeldris, or vice versa? Do you think Fest Zeldris is better than Ominous Nebula? In my opinion, at this very moment, Festival Zeldris does feel like a better unit just to put in the back and then just to run him. He does feel a little bit better at the very moment, but that can obviously change over time, right? You know, and another thing too is that I'm a little biased because I do have Fest Zeldris completely built compared to my Ominous Nebula being, you know, fairly free-to-play friendly. So that's going to be the main difference, but I do think over time that Ominous Nebula will become a lot better, right? Over time for sure. So I can also show you guys as well the pulverized gauge reduction. So this is another like utility thing that you can do with Ominous Nebula Zeldris here, right? So when you do that, we killed there, but he would have took the gauge basically because we had 4 gauge there. Yeah, man, pretty cool. And I do think that over time, Ominous Nebula will become better with a Holy Relic. That's all he needs, really, to kind of surpass Festival Zeldris at this point. Because he does have a lot more usability, I think, than Festival Zeldris on the Demon team compared to, you know, Festival Zeldris. But Festival Zeldris does have that, you know, usability on any team basically, which is very nice. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. What are your guys' opinion on the Zeldris versus battle here? That's gonna be it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Have a great rest of your day.